Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, The Appalachian Home, and to another video. So today we're going to be making this Christmas gnome wreath, and if you're thinking this is going to be too hard for you to make, it's not. I'm a beginner wreath maker and this turned out great for me. So I'm going to show you all the materials that I used in my last haul video, and we'll go ahead and get started making this wreath. So first I'm going to be using this 14-inch wreath frame, and I got this online at Craft Outlet, but these are just $1 at Dollar Tree if you want to start there. I'm also going to be using this poly burlap mesh. I got this online also, and it is in the color of gray. I'm going to be using 4 different ribbons for this wreath. 3 of these are 2.5 inch, including this little cute gnome ribbon, and then this red ribbon is 1.5 inches, and all of these ribbons are wired, so you want to make sure and use wired ribbon. And then I found these half off at Hobby Lobby. These are also in my last haul video, but you can use any embellishments you want. I'll be using these little gnomes and some of these little decorative ornaments and some of this greenery. To secure your items to your wreath, you may want to use a glue gun. Gorilla Glue is the best I've found for wreaths. I'm also going to be using this simple little chalk sign to make a sign for my wreath. This I got at Walmart, and I'm just using some regular white and dark red Oracle brand vinyl to make the sign. And then finally, if your wreath form does not have these already attached, you'll need to get some pipe cleaners, and I attached mine about 5 inches apart all the way around my wreath, as I'll show you here in just a sec. Okay, so I have went ahead and put all of my ties on. I placed 10 ties on the outside. I just placed them around these 2 outer rings, and I just twisted them together a couple times. These are 12-inch long pipe cleaners. You may want to cut these off in the end, but I'm just going to leave them for now. Again, I have a mismatched variety of pipe cleaners here. Hopefully they're not going to show up too bad, but you will definitely want to match them as best you can to your wreath. So I have 10 here on the outside 2 rings, and on the inside 2 rings I've placed 8 kind of evenly spaced apart. And I've went ahead and put a ruffle right here on the outside so you can see how these are going to turn out. These are just going to be like a scrunched up roly-polies on the ends. So I'll show you guys how I'm going to do these. We're going to go ahead and cut all of our poly burlap mesh. I'm going to cut lengths that are 34 inches, and then we're just going to scrunch them up to place on our wreath. You will need 2 rolls of mesh for this project, and I ended up having just a little bit left over out of the second roll. I'm going to try to cut in between the rows on the burlap to keep it from fraying as much as possible. So the first thing you want to do to these 34-inch lengths is to roll up one end about 4 times, and I'm holding this down with some scissors, and then I'm just going to go ahead and roll up my other end about 4 times. Then you just want to scrunch up towards the middle until you get to the other end, and that's going to create this pretty little bow-like ruffle that you want to go ahead and place on your wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and place this first one. I'm going to start at the outer edge, and I'm just going to twist my ties around that ruffle in the center, and then you just want to kind of fluff it up. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the rest of our lengths of burlap and place those on our wreath. I'm going to speed this up going around placing these on my wreath, but this project probably took me about an hour to get all of these ruffles on the wreath after I had everything cut. So it's really not that hard of a project, but it is a little bit time consuming. So just set yourself aside one morning to get this wreath done, and that should give you plenty of time to finish. Okay, so now I have placed 9 of these ruffles on the outer rim. I'm going to go ahead and place this 10th one, and after we get this last one placed, you want to go ahead and do the same thing for the inside rim. I have 8 ties on the inside. You just want to go ahead and place those last 8 ones on the inside. Okay, so now I'm ready to start cutting my ribbon. Normally I would cut these 12 inches, but since this ribbon has a pattern on it, I don't want to cut through any one of my little gnomes. And I'm going to cut this a little bit longer. So here's 12 inches, but I'm going to move it down and cut it right here so that all of my little gnome is intact. So I'm going to cut 9 of these. I'm going to pair this one with this 1.5 inch ribbon, and then I'm going to pair these two together. So these I'm going to make 12 inches a piece. Now I have all of my ribbon cut, so I'm going to go ahead and fix these ends. I'm going to dovetail the ends. You just want to fold them in half lengthwise. Start from the center of your ribbon and cut out towards the edge, and that creates these little pretty perfect dovetailed ends on the edge of your ribbon. Okay, so now I have all the ribbon cut. I am pairing again the red 1.5 inch with the Troll 2.5 inch ribbon. So I'm just going to take 2 pieces. I'm just going to center both pieces, and I always put the smaller ribbon up towards the top. So when I go to twist this, I get a good view of the bottom ribbon. So now I'm just going to go around and find all of my ties, and I'm going to be placing these ribbon right in the middle of those ties. You can hide your ties by curling them up around a pencil and sticking them down your wreath, or you can cut them off. I'm pairing this gray polka dot with the red ho 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 ribbon, and I'm going to continue that pattern all the way around the wreath. So I started with the gnome ribbon, and then on the second tie I'm going to be placing the polka dot ribbon. So you just want to alternate which ribbon you're placing on the next tie, and since I have an even number of ties, 10 on the outside ring, this is going to come out perfect. I won't have 2 same ribbons bunched up together. I also do this for the inside as well. So now we finally have all of our ribbon and mesh placed on our wreath. We can go ahead and start adding embellishments. I'm going to place in here just kind of in 3s around the wreath. So now I'm ready to make my wreath sign. This is honestly the easiest sign I have ever made. This came from Walmart. It was $1.97. I went into Cricut Design Space and I uploaded this file. I'll link this file below. I think I got this from Etsy, and I just resized it to fit on that chalkboard sign. You want to make sure and attach all of the same colors of vinyl together when you are layering decals. I'll put a video up above on how I do that. But I attached all my red parts, and then I attached all of my white parts, and then I just hit make it, and I'm going to be cutting this out on some white and red permanent vinyl. Now I have all of my decals weeded and ready for transfer tape. I'm going to just be cutting around these and placing them where they need to go. If you want to see how I layer decals, I have a video I'll link in the cards up at the top of the screen so you can see exactly how I layer all of my decals. I'm going to be using some Green Star brand clear medium tack transfer tape. This is my favorite brand to use if you've seen my channel for any length of time. So I'm just going to be placing this over my decals. I'm just going to move these pieces around to fit on this transfer tape the way that I want them to. Just make sure you have a big enough piece of transfer tape to cover your entire design, and then it's so simple. I'm just going to put it on my sign and I will be finished with this sign. And now I'm just going to attach my sign just by tying this jute string that's already on the sign to one of those pipe cleaners, and that seemed to work. You can also glue this on, especially if you're selling signs. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and it gave you some Christmas spirit and motivation to get started on some Christmas projects. I want to thank all my subscribers for subscribing to this channel. I hope you guys are really enjoying my content. I've reached 60,000, so thank you guys so much again for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.